Right.
Cousin that I never grew up with. She lives in California. And I'm kind of reconnect.
Okay. You're good, Ann.
Good morning. I'd like to call this open space meeting for Thursday, July 16, 2026 at 9 a.m. Okay, this morning we'll just very quickly prove the minutes of June. What was it?
June 18th.
June 18th. I said, hello. Do I hear a motion? Okay, second. Right. Okay, any
Myself and no, our second he first.
good. Okay, and
There, the light is on.
okay, and any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, abstentions. So, okay, online we have Sarah.
Lloyd.
Okay,
She waved too.
good morning. And Kelly Kowalski. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. These are our friends from Trust for Public Land. Online.
Kelly.
Sarah and Kelly. Do you have any reports for us?
Sorry. Hi, guys. I'm just logging in. I was having a hard time hearing at first. I just wanted to come and say hi to everyone, and I don't have any updates regarding our Rec Trails grant yet. I've heard that we're going to find out soon. I know we're quite delayed at this point, but I'm hopeful that we're going to find out in the next month or two. Yeah, so that's my update there. And then I also just wanted to share, and I sent it to you, but just that we're having this film screening in a couple weeks for The Best Day Ever, which is this really cool film about adaptive mountain biking. And then Walker and some adaptive athletes are going to be doing a panel. And so I just wanted to let everyone know about that. It's going to be at the University of Hartford on July 30th. And Friends of Mono Pond is welcome to table, and I can send over just sort of a bunch of information for folks if interested. But I think it's going to be a really fun event. So
Great.
And I also don't have anything to report, but I am just here because I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Sarah Lloyd. I'm the new project associate working with Honor on all things land protection. I think I've met a couple of you last summer out at Camp Laurel. It's hard to see, so I'm not exactly sure. But I'm just wanted to listen in and learn about what you all are talking about and introduce myself. So thank you for having me.
It's very nice to meet you, Sarah.
So Public Land was instrumental in helping us increase the property for Monopond State Park. And they're now involved with, what's the motorcycle? Trail bike.
IMBA, International Mountain Biking.
They're putting together a trail proposal for the park. It's coming.
And as you heard, we're waiting on the Connecticut Trails Grant from the deep.
And then tonight we have Third Thursday in Willimantic, which is gonna be, the theme is gonna be around the Airline State Park Trail Alliance, and at least 20 of the organizations in the area are gonna be participating, tabling at that event.
And I think Joshua's Trust will be there too. Yeah. Yes, because our project, our open space project in Wellswood, mushrooms into connecting Mudham Pond State Park to the Airline Trail State Park, so they connect. And TPL was instrumental in getting input to do the trail screen for the whole thing.
And then just beyond that,
All we need is money.
and then just beyond that, over in Lebanon was the Camp Laurel project that TPL's been involved with Avalonia. So that's just about complete.
Yes, it should be closing soon.
Very good. It's all coming. and so that's very exciting. Okay, well, thank you very much for showing up to Phil's family. And you're certainly welcome to stay for the whole meeting, but if you're busy, we will understand.
And we have
That's why I always put them first.
one more member, Ron Wickham of the Open Space Committee, upper left there with the grant open space.
Good. Okay. So I would like to just move along to our guests from Joshua's Trust, Christine, Jim Cole, and Chris Kiefner have very graciously come at our invitation, and Christine is the new executive director. Jim is the new president, and Chris is a member of the board at Joshua's Trust. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone here.
We're gonna ask him for money.
Now, he has no talent. I had met Christine at a tea she invited me to, and she was very interested in finding out Joshua's Trust is 14 towns, and so to get to know the 14 towns, she wanted to come and meet us and find out what we do in open space and conservation. So since I'm running out of voice here, Tom, would you have the gift of the gab?
So, how many hours do we have?
He's got a well rehearsed. You have about 10 minutes
So,
at most. So tell us the whole story of Mono Pond.
So Mono Pond originally, there was a development, Island Woods, which I live in. When the developer went belly up about 30 years ago, there was the pond and some land around it that the state was able to take possession of to form the state park. And then with the help of Trust for Public Land, and then the town of Columbia, we purchased different open space parcels abutting what is now state land too. So combined, I think we have close to 1,000 acres out there now. The original boat launch is just off of, on Hunt Road, just off of Pine Street. And in a straight line, you can walk on state land for almost 2 miles, heading south to connect to the airline trail. So the most recent purchase abuts the airline trail between Leonard Bridge and Route 207. That's a 2-mile stretch, and we share almost a 1-mile boundary. And from the corner closest to Leonard Bridge, we're not much more than a mile from Camp Laurel. So the goal is to have all these interconnections between the airline trail, Mono Pond State Park, potentially Camp Laurel. Last year, we formed the Airline State Park Trail Alliance. It's the 12 towns on the current airline trail, and I accepted the role as vice president of that organization, and I'm chair for the section of the trail from Willimantic to Portland. And like everything, all the grants and everything, all these things have been stalled. So there's all kinds of work that needs to be done on the airline trail, but as well as Mono Pond. But so far this year, the monies haven't been released. The other thing, the big thing with Columbia is we also abut the Hop River Trail. So about the same time that we created the nonprofit Friends of Mono Pond group, which was 4 or 5 years ago, the 7 towns along the Hop River Trail created their own Hop River Trail Alliance. And so Ann and I attend meetings for Mono Pond, the Airline Trail, Hop River Trail. Because of the work going on at Camp Laurel, I was asked to join Avalonia's advisory council. So a few times a year, I sit in meetings with Avalonia. And because the rail trails come together in Willimantic, the hub now is the Willimantic Whitewater Park. I don't know. So there was recently, they had $500,000 to upgrade the park. So the physical park, the 3 or 4 acres, it's owned by that nonprofit. That now looks like a park. There's grass, there's trees, there's whatever. But there's a side project going on, which is the in-river work to create an actual whitewater park where there'll be features where the kayakers and tubers and stuff can use, with a walkway along the river that would be submerged at high water, but someplace easily accessible from tubers or kayakers. And the only other whitewater park like that in New England is up in Franklin, New Hampshire. It's called Mill City Park. And myself and other members of the Whitewater Park went and visited that in the past few weeks. So all these different things coming together. If you look at the different reports, all the tourism, economic development related to when all these things are completed, the Hop River Trail connected to the airline trail, the Whitewater Park, there's just a lot of good things happening in Eastern Connecticut. And that was a part of Camp Laurel, may or may not be able to be used as overnight camping for people that are doing the East Coast Greenway, or it's undecided at this point, but that's a potential. And there's a number of properties along the Willimantic River in the area of the Whitewater Park that are undeveloped, that there's an opportunity right now to purchase and protect along that riparian corridor. So I was going to reach out to Joshua's Trust and the Avalonia and Trust for Public Land to try to sit down and figure out how can we work together to capture some of that, because Willimantic does not seem to have any money for open space. And they have a group similar to this, which is their conservation, agriculture, and open space. It has 0 members. And it was because people were on it and they weren't making any progress. So if Joshua's Trust has any members that live in the Windham area that would be interested in getting on that board, it would help them to get OSWA grants and everything else for that project. So, what else?
Joshua's Trust owns a pretty good portion of the riparian corridor on the Willimantic River. You've got one or two in Coventry, and one in Windham, and at the Pot Meadow, you've got, what's the one on Flanders Road? Overlook. Scenic Ocean. Yeah, it's accessed from Coventry across from the Mansfield Drive, and then escapes it. And then further north in Coventry, you've got a couple. So you're already tied in, and you've got a little bitty 1 acre in Mansfield, on the Mansfield side.
The Willimantic River is a national river trail recognized from Stafford to Willimantic.
And so, yeah, tying in, see, that's the kind of thing that we've learned to do. Because Columbia is this big, we have absolutely no budget line for open space, only little for conservation. And so we have had to develop partners who have money, like TPL. Thank you.
The other goal too with Model Pond State Park is right now there's limited access points, and Hebron would be a perfect town to connect into Model Pond, but we don't know exactly how that would happen. But that they've been trying to figure out their trails, and group has been trying to figure out how to get from the airline trail safely up to the business district on Route 66. And if they connect through the airline trail in Model Pond, it would give them the loop that they want and get that whole population there. And I'm sure you've heard recently that there's been mergers. The Colchester Land Trust, Salem Land Trust have both July 1st merged with Avalonia. So there is larger numbers now that can advocate for some of this.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the other thing too is Joshua's Trust, the Hill Preserve.
Yes.
That is key for protecting the watershed for Columbia Lake. And over the past X number of years, Columbia has added more parcels to our rec park. So we have almost 400 acres between Joshua's Trust and town land, going from all the way now from Route 66 to Lake Road. So that's a big thing. And the one thing we were talked about a couple of times, which maybe you could help with, is trail easements. We have different places in town, different state parks, but nobody can get to them. So if we can work with some of the larger landowners to make connections between our rec park and Model Pond, rec park and the Hop River Trail and Airline Trail through some of these large parcels through trail easements, it wouldn't cost anything, but it would make a big difference. And I know the power company has been a lot more willing to allow trails in recent years than they used to be. So maybe that's an opportunity you could work with us on.
Yep. And on the Conservation Commission front, because we have no money, it's difficult to conserve riparian corridors and wildlife corridors in town, because that involves a lot of landowners, a lot of money. So in the fall, I hope to go to the Inland Wetlands Commission and try to convince them that they should beef up their riparian corridor regulations, so that if we can't permanently conserve these corridors, at least we can make the the legal, the regulatory, um, setback from them a little wider. And that opens up, better wildlife corridors, better protection for the extreme things.
One of the big things too is Columbia Lake is probably the most important. Everybody knows it exists, and there's always the risk of invasive aquatic plants. Mono Pond is the second largest body of water in Columbia. 30 years it had 0 invasive plants, and then the state put in a boat launch, and now it's just full of invasive plants. And we've been asking since 2012 for the state to do something about it. And Friends of Mono Pond has applied 3 times for grants to try to do some remediation. And so far we have not received any grants. So there's that risk of, one of the things I was advocating for is we have a lake management committee in town, which focuses on Columbia Lake. And I'm hoping we can expand their role and bring their expertise in and include Mono Pond under their supervision.
Is there a big one? Yeah. In Mono.
You remember
I'm sorry.
Hydrillion?
Hydrilla, mono.
I'm not sure.
You can almost walk across it, so it's probably got everything.
Really? It's a very shallow pond to begin with, and then it just this.
Van Wert,
Yeah.
we've got the big 3, so probably.
So the big thing with Mono Pond was what was attractive was the fishing and kayaking and stuff, and now all of that is pretty much impossible to do because of the lack of maintenance on remediating the invasives.
Put a line in and it gets stuck. It's just, it's very sad. Very sad. So, anyway. The rest of you had anything to add to? Yes, we did.
Executive session.
Yep. So, I think that's the state of conservation in Columbia. And for a teeny little town with no budget, I think we've done pretty well.
One thing I think we all have to be aware of, I'm on the selectman here in town, and almost all the towns that have budgets have all had budget issues. I mean, everybody went 3 or 4 times to get their budgets approved, so obviously we're up against, all of us, there's no money. I don't care which town you want to pick, if you start here and go all our budgets, we all had tough time getting budgets approved, so.
Yeah.
In fairness to the towns, we're having a tough time.
A very tough time. And when I say, it's a tiny town with no money for open space, when we have gone to town meeting, no vote has ever been less than 98% in favor of purchasing it. So everybody in town loves open space, but we've got schools and roads and, and so that's the kind of thing that we're up against.
Not everybody. A financial planning committee meeting once, and we were talking about open space and something. And one of the guys says, "Why are we protecting dirt?" I won't talk.
Oh, is that you?
Just shouting out, "Dirt!"
And
So
And on that note, other partnerships we've had, we have quite a bit of farmland that we protected. We have, Post Hill is, arguably our best soil in town. And we have protected maybe as much as 800 to 1,000 acres of that in Department of Ag farmland protection. So
That's the hill as you're heading into Heber on 66 on both sides.
Skyline Farm, the view.
And that,
So,
I
yeah,
was gonna say that protected agricultural land almost touches Mono Pond State Park and almost touches or does touch one of the town open space properties.
Yeah.
Pretty close, so
yeah,
that contiguousness is what we've been pursuing.
yeah.
Contiguous.
And we have a couple of other farms too that are protected, not through DORA, but one of them is through their partners, which I had never heard of. But that is a national kind of farmland protection. And Susan Mitchell, who owns the farm, put all that together herself. But we will take credit that we found her the farm. And then she found her own funding. And we have NRCS is active in this town with farmland reclamation grants.
I think it's somewhere around 15% of the land in Columbia is in 490 status. And so one of the goals of the Plan of Conservation and Development, I think, is to move from just being PA 490 to permanent protection as farmland.
Yeah, because PA 490 is temporary. Yes. And the problem is if you choose to put your forest or farmland in PA 490, okay, it's protected for 10 years. Most people don't pull it out before that. But if it changes hands, then they have to reapply. And they can pull it out at any time and sell it off for development. So that's a risky thing when you're thinking in perpetuity. So
question, is Joshua's Trust looking for any acquisitions in any particular towns or not at all right now, or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Executive session. We're always looking.
Yeah.
Well, let's go into executive session. You gotta kill this.
wait,
Quick, before you do.
before you kill it, we're going to, Callie and Sarah, thank you. We're going to have to go into executive session for the next part of the meeting. But thank you so much for coming in, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Sarah. And we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. So great to meet all of you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, executive session ended at
10 o'clock,
10 o'clock.
no motions.
No
No
motions, no actions were taken. I move we adjourn the meeting.
You want to put on the record, thank them for coming? Did you thank them?
Oh, yeah.
Out of such.
Thank you, Joshua Strauss, for coming. Very good to hear from you.
All those in favor?
We adjourn.
Perfect.
Yeah,